got the metallic.
It's got a little metallic,
Yeah.
gives you a little different hue to it. So, you know, the shape of it, I've had some young guys come in and they say, gee, this looks kind of a strange looking shape. And I said, well, you've never hit a persimmon wood in your life, right? Because there's no one, how many guys in this building, probably me and Roger Cleveland are the only guys who've ever touched a, you know, ground a real wood. So, you know, it's got a gorgeous shape, shallow face so that you can kind of get the ball airborne, but not as shallow, not too shallow that it pops up off the tee. You can knock it down. It's a three-piece construction. It's the same carpenter face that I had with tri-metal.
Yep.
It's got a crown piece that's only 1/3 of a millimeter thick, so it's a very light crown. So you've got the body is one piece, or the frame. The crown is the second piece. The third piece is the face insert.
Okay.
And you know, like I said, if I can't knock off myself, who can I knock off? This is the tri-metal. I had a guy yesterday come in. This looks like a tri-metal. It's like an Orlemark. And I said, well, it should be. And the guy looks at me. Oh yeah, you're the Orlemark. Yeah,
sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that helps cut through the grass. It really does.
Yeah.
And if you look at the leading edge, the club, even though the runners are parallel, just before they hit the leading edge, they kind of angle up to the face. So what it does is it allows an initial dig and then a release through the turf, okay?
Yeah.
So that's not cosmetic. This really, really works.
Functional.
It's very functional. The hosel is adjustable for square, 1 degree closed, or 2 degrees closed.
Okay.
Okay? So you can fool around with that.
Yeah.
And what's also interesting in the Fairway line is I make a 13, 15, and a 17. 13 strong 3-wood, 15's a normal 3-wood. The 17 degree is really like a 3.5 or 4 wood, okay? But what I did is, because I've got a weight here in the back, I can put, in the 17 degree, I can put an aluminum weight.
Okay.
That aluminum weight makes the head lighter. And I can then make the shaft a true 3-wood length. The average golfer, most golfers with slower swing speeds, seniors, women, they can't hit a 3-wood. They struggle with 3-woods, okay? And they lose distance because they got to go to a 5-wood. So what I've done is, with the 17 degree, when you put an aluminum weight in it, I can make it a true 3-wood length. So now, a player with a slower swing speed has 3-wood length, but they've got like a 3.5 or 4-wood head, so they can get the ball airborne. Most of the other companies, I think all of them, a 17 degree is just their 5-wood, and that's the end of the story. So you've got really a great story there with the 17 that's very easy to hit, and yet you don't lose any distance because you've got the length. Put a tungsten weight in it, cut it by 3/4 of an inch, that club now is a true 5-wood.
Okay. Now, as far as that, the customizing of it, is that something that you're marketing with the product, or is it something that the pro shops would do specifically?
No, you can market it with the product, and we'll be sending out a little wrench. It's a little 4mm Allen wrench.
Okay.
That, you know, it's not the big fancy one, but then that's why you pay, you know, $300 for something.
Sure. Yep. Nope. I was just curious.
So the Fairway woods are adjustable for face angle, just like the driver.
Right.
Okay. You can see with the driver, my original one was a little more triangular. I've made this one a little bit more kind of pear-shaped, kind of like an old persimmon. This one happens to be the super light configuration, which is 47 inches with a 40-gram shaft. This again, you can make it, 40-gram shaft. In Japan, they got them down to about 33, 34 grams.
So,
a lot of guys wanted to do that yesterday. So, hey, this is my North American inventory, what you have here. That's it. The real stuff comes, you know, in March, mid-March, 1st of April is when everything drops.
Okay.
So this also is square face, 1 degree closed, 2 degrees closed. You can adjust that. Okay. Again, it's all titanium. I made a driver about 10 years ago, 11, 12 years ago, that was called the Hip Tie 420, which is still considered probably one of the best drivers ever made. If you go on eBay now, if you find a Hip Tie 420, it'll be selling for about $200, and it's a 12-year-old driver.
Really?
It's unbelievable. There's a whole cult behind that driver. It was all titanium, a very rigid construction with a hot Russian beta face. This is the same face material, and I've gone back to all titanium. I was using graphite on the crown, but with all titanium, it makes for a more rigid body, and it gives you a bit more pop off the face. Again, kind of red looking, you know, to match the shaft.
Sure.
PVD finish, which really, I've got one that I've been banging around for about a month, and it doesn't look scratched up at all. It looks really good.
Nice.
The hybrids are, the story with the hybrid is same construction as the Fairway wood. Okay. 3 pieces, okay? You got the body that's the frame, the Carpenter 465 super thin face, and a 1/3 millimeter Maraging crown on it. Yep. Lower the CG. Again, you've got a very curved sole. Most of the hybrids on the market are flat bottom, they're straight. So the heel or toe can grab and it twists in the rough or on side heel lies. Okay. This way you always get the contact point in the middle. Right. The inverted runners, again, let you get through, track better. What I did with the hybrid though, it's not adjustable for face angle, because I believe that a hybrid, it's like a treble club. Right? Yeah. So you want a square face, you can play it out of a lot of different conditions. You know, fairway traps, side hill lies, rough. Sure. You want a square face. You can always move it around if you have to, okay, with the grip. But what it's adjustable for is lie angle. So if someone is shorter, they need, you know, like your irons. Your irons, you don't adjust your irons for face angle. It's lie angle. Yeah. A hybrid is supposed to be designed to replace a long iron. Sure. So you got these. This can be adjusted for 1.5 degree flat, standard, and 1.5 degree upright. So that's the story with the hybrids. Again, a real clean look. You put it down, and it just looks real easy to hit. Absolutely. It sets up. You know, the crown goes down sharply, low CG, and yeah, that's the story with the hybrid.
Same tool for the hybrid and the fairway.
Yeah, these are all 4 millimeter heads. So the driver, fairway, it's really clean look. It's just a little bit of offset, not a ton. It's not a huge blade. A lot of the game improvement clubs get bulky, where they're thick at the top. Yeah. They got big on the cavity back when you see it, you know, from the top you see it. This is really clean. Absolutely. But what it is, it's a soft stainless body, and the face, and it's hollowed out completely in the middle. So you got a stainless steel frame, very wide on the sole. But what I did, I kind of ground it like a wedge, where the heel and toe are swept away. Right. This inlay, this is bead blast. Actually, underneath this bead blast is a piece of tungsten, basically in that shape. Okay. So there's a piece of tungsten in here. This is completely hollow in the middle, and what we do is we braze a piece of 465 Carpenter steel on the face that's only about 2 millimeters thick or thin. So the face material, or the insert, is the same material that's in the face of the hybrids and the fairway ones. So what happens is you've got a ton of weight removed from the middle of the club, which lets me put it all down at the bottom. Yeah. This club, the 5-iron goes off at about a 6-iron trajectory. Everything's at least 1 club higher, which is good for the average golfer. It's not good for the hot shot, because, you know, he wants to carve the shots and, you know, work them in. This isn't an iron for the single-digit guy. Sure. This is for the guy who shoots in the mid-80s and higher, who wants forgiveness, wants a little bit more height on the ball. You get a little bit more carry distance. You probably get about not quite half a club longer, but it's very forgiving. The sound and feel is very different. It's almost like a hybrid sound. It's more of a metallic, high-pitched sound. Sure. So if you're looking for that solid, muffled, like a forging sound, that's not for you. Right. You know, that's not it. This is for the average golfer. With woods and hybrids, I can design a club that appeals to a really good player or a pro, and it has the features and benefits in there that are for the average golfer. But when it comes to irons, you really got to make about 3 or 4 different models of irons, because some guys want thin top line, no offset. I want a really soft feel. Well, then you got to go to a forging, you know.
Yeah.
Cavity backs. Well, I want something in the middle. I want a round toe. I want a square toe. With irons, it's tougher. So this is my first attempt at an iron for the average golfer, but you know, it's against my religion to make something ugly. So I got to make it really good looking,
Sure.
but it's a game improvement. Okay?
Yeah, no, that's great.
So that's out of
Great. That's great.